What's going on, this is Budget Team. Welcome back to another episode of South Stand Signings. This series, of course, we go through everything happening in and around the world of Leeds United. And we have a little talk about it. And there has been a whole load of news popping out this morning, this evening, everything. Or last evening, should I say, this morning. I'm recording this at about 5 a.m. in the morning. But there's been a lot of news coming out surrounding a lot of departures and incomings over at Ellen Road. Some news not too great. And the first one we're going to start with is really one that makes me slightly uncomfortable. It was regarding a player that's just come back into the fold. And might I say, I thought was phenomenal against Ipswich. Absolutely phenomenal at portions of the second half. And a key factor in what could allow Leeds to get promoted if we're able to keep him at natives. Of course, this man, Luis Sinisterra, as I like to call him. And apparently, I'm not the only one that likes to refer to him that way. Apparently, some of the hierarchy over at Crystal Palace also recognize some of the source that this guy's distributing out on the field. And they are coming back in for him with a big move. Apparently, Crystal Palace have now opened talks to sign Leeds United attacker Luis Sinisterra, according to an exclusive report by the Palace Way. This then goes on to state that they are looking to acquire him within the coming few days, bring him over to Selhurst Park. Obviously, there was a lot of talk about them losing Elise. They managed to keep him. Now, that was something that potentially may have swayed them away from going for Luis Sinisterra, but apparently that hasn't really come to fruition. Now, will we manage to keep him? Will we not? I don't know. I really hope that we can, but obviously we know that there was talks of him potentially going over to the Netherlands again. There was talks of him going to a Premier League club. It did look like if Palace were interested in anyone, it was going to be Sourceville. It turns out they've changed their mind and opted for another source this time. And I just don't know if we're going to be able to keep him. I think gnonto now, the club have been so steadfast on him that I don't think anyone's going to be able to pry him away from us. I haven't heard too much about Somerville, so hopefully, I think that he's going to stay, and maybe the injury has put people off as well. But Sinisterra, oh, that's the one I'm starting to get a little bit scared about. I really want to know what you guys think about that. Are you guys on my wavelength? Do you think there's a chance we can keep him? Do you think he is imperative for our promotion? Because I think he is. I think him, Somerville, and gnonto, if we keep those three, like I said, we are in for an absolute treat. However, there still are positions that we do need to make signings in, and we do need to reimburse about the squad. Now, one of the names that we have been linked with now is Joseph Paintsil, and apparently Leeds unable to pull the final manoeuvres in it has apparently led Southampton to become the favourites for him now. And for me, it just doesn't seem like a move Leeds are going to make. Apparently, it's going to take £8.5 million for Leeds to acquire his services. Not really a move that I think Leeds are going to be able to press forward on. Really, I don't see a lot of substance in Leeds making a big move for this. I think if we really wanted him, we would have put the money up front. I think we're saving our limited resources, let's be real here, on moving for other targets like Kamara and Jed Spence, which we will get into in just a second. Now, speaking of Leeds not being able to front up the cash, one guy we have actually fronted up the cash for hasn't worked out. That's right, late last night the news had come out, obviously, again, that Leeds United had failed in our bid for Norwich City midfielder Kenny McLean. We're obviously looking out to McLean out the market, if you know what I mean, when it comes to those midfielders, because with our two main starting midfielders, Ethan Ampadu and Archie Gray, both great players, might I add you, it does leave us a little bit vulnerable and a little bit thin in terms of the midfield positions, because, let's be real, it's a 46-game season. Can you hang your hat on Archie Gray, as young and inexperienced as he is? Probably not for a full season. Ethan Ampadu looks amazing, yes, but one injury to one of those players, and then you've only got Darko Djebe to slot back in. Forshaw's gone already, so we really do need to start bringing in some acquisitions. However, this is one that we have been denied. Will we go back in for him? I don't know, mate. I don't know. At 31 years of age, I think there's better options we could get for a similar amount of money. Obviously, we're looking at making a couple of different moves within the market, and there's still a lot of talk for us going in for Kamara and a couple of other midfielders within there. And I don't think this is going to be the move that Leeds go for personally. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments section down below. Now, speaking of Glen Kamara, Leeds have apparently readied the necessary funds to complete the signing. Obviously, after spending big on Joel Perot, people question, will Leeds still have the cash to go into the market? Obviously, £5.5 million has been tipped for the fee that we do need for Glen Kamara. And it does look like Leeds are ready to splash the cash. This transfer saga has gone on and on and on and on and on and on and on. But I do think that this is one that we are going to get over the line. We've been linked with him for far too long. There's been far too many stories surrounding it. It's only £5.5 million. I just think it's a move that makes sense for both parties. He's fallen down the pecking order at Rangers. Leeds need him. Leeds aren't going to have to front up that much cash for it. It is only £5.5 million. I know we spent a decent whack on Joel Perot. I know we've lost a lot of money going down to the Championship, but have we lost enough to the point where we can't splash a little 5, 15, 20 million pounds more in the market? I don't think so. I think we're still going to spend another 15 million odd pounds, and I think this is one move that we are going to get done, and I think he's going to be partnered very, very shortly with the next guy. We've got a couple of stories coming out. First, from LUFC Fanzone reposting a kicker post, or a kicker article, should we say, surrounding a man who Leeds fans have been quite upset with recently, and that is Nadiem Amiri. Obviously, it did seem like he was all set to go for Leeds with a £6 million deal, or €6 million deal, touted to be agreed upon. But he could not agree personal terms. Now, he didn't want to go to a side in the Championship. Fair enough. He's 27 years of age. Maybe he doesn't want to go down from the Bundesliga to the Championship. Maybe he wants to go to the Premier League. Maybe he wants to stay in the top flight of any other league. However, it does seem like apparently Leeds getting a win over Ipswich in one game and bringing gnonto and Sinisterra back into the fold has intrigued him on joining Leeds again, because apparently he now thinks we're only going to be in the Championship for 1 year, and we've agreed to give him more money potentially if we get promoted to the Premier League. The story's a little bit confusing to me, how he could suddenly be that, have such that strong of a change of heart over one performance. I mean, maybe the fact that Sinisterra and gnonto there is giving him a bit more confidence as well, which makes it even more imperative that we don't lose Sinisterra to Crystal Palace. If we do want to bring more players in, we need to, tell them that this is the project that's going forward. If we do tell them, look, these players are going to be there, you come join in the ranks and help us get promoted, and then all of a sudden, a couple of days after he signs, we end up selling one of them. Well, that's not going to go very well for our season with him, or players like that of this ilk, because they're basically just going to turn around like, all right, you just sodded me off, basically, and now you expect me to give you 100%. Not really something that I can see working out too well. So hopefully Leeds are able to keep the hold of those players, and I do think this move will eventually happen. I do have to also take into account that one of the reasons he also didn't want to agree to a move to Leeds is because his wife is about to give birth to, well, hopefully, touch wood, all being well. His wife is about to give birth to their child. So that is something that is obviously going to, halt his desire to move countries, essentially, in order to secure this move and play football and live potentially in a different country to that of which his wife is, because his wife can't even fly, I believe, when you're that heavily pregnant. So I don't think that it's a tough one. It's a tough one. There's a hell of a lot going into it, but I do think we will get this Nadiem Amiri move over. What do you guys think? Do you guys like the way that he's gone back and forth? Do you think it's still a move you'd entertain with everything that's happened? I think it's a move that Leeds will entertain, and I think it's a move that will get done. But for now, guys, it has been your boy JT. I hope you did enjoy. Let me know what you thought about all of this down in the comment section down below. For now, guys, I will see you very, very soon. Au revoir. My light just turned off. On cue. Blood brilliant. And for my brothers and my sisters.